See, the problem is there's a big major contradiction. In the beginning, they told everybody, we have been appointed. Prabhupada appointed us. That's the specific term they've used. Prabhupada appointed these 11 as his successors. We've been appointed as Diksha Guru. So that was the propaganda. When people started to ask all kinds of questions, what is this appointment? When were you appointed? Where does Prabhupada discusses this appointment? Then they started to retaliate because they realized that you couldn't prove this appointment. So then they started with this philosophy, Prabhupada sent a letter to Janardhan, one can be an acharya even if he's not liberated. There's so many interpretations, like he has in that book, like Virabahu, everybody can become a guru. But most of these statements are statements that are generic in nature, that are in reference to shiksha,
right,
to simply general instruction. When it comes to diksha, which entails that you would liberate the person, this is only a person who's been authorized. What's called direct order is required, where Prabhupada was quoting so many times with regards to his Godhead and Gadyamat, how nobody had been ever ordered. There was no record of any order of Bhaktisiddhanta appointed anybody as guru or anybody as acharya.
Right.
And this is the problem. When people have personal motivation, they'll interpret and malinterpret whatever they read to fit into their political narrative.
Yeah.
Because you see, there's a major contradiction. If they want to preach that everybody can become a guru, so how did 11 come to preach that they had been appointed as gurus?
Right. If everyone can be guru.
That's why in the beginning, when they saw that we were getting close, asking so many questions, basically shut the discussion. That's it. You're out. Here's the door. Cool, you're out of Iskcon, that's it, and we'll threaten you and all. I mean, it's like a mafia regime. The mafia is not going to argue with people whether what they do is saintly, holy, authorized. They don't care for that. They run everything with the barrel of a gun.
Right.
And that's how Iskcon was ruled in the beginning.
Right.
It's still like that in many ways, become a little bit more sophisticated, but it's the same mentality.
Right. That conversation is pretty revealing. That conversation, April 22nd, 1977, where Tamal is saying that I've studied all my God brothers and myself or something like that. We're all conditioned souls. We cannot be guru. And he says maybe someday. So Srila Prabhupada gives the whole commentary of, yes, I'll appoint some of you to be acharya. And right after Srila Prabhupada passed away, Tamal came up with this concoction that we've been appointed to be acharyas, It's pretty lame.
Well, if you look at that conversation, and you see what Prabhupada's statements, Prabhupada said they're talking about rubber stamp, and Prabhupada said you can cheat,
yes,
it will not be effective.
Right. That is
so it's the same thing with this Iskcon system. It's not effective.
Right. It's not.
But right now, as we speak, almost 97% or 98% of Prabhupada's original disciples, for lack of a better term,
right,
are no longer active in Iskcon. Why? Prabhupada didn't want his disciples to quit Iskcon.
Right.
He didn't want his disciples to go outside of Iskcon, because there was the policy of these people in the beginning to get rid of Prabhupada's disciples and get their own disciples.
Right.
Bhavananda told the Gurukul teacher in 1978, when somebody complained that many Prabhupada disciples were upset. And Bhavananda told him, let them all leave. And he laughed. He was, let them all leave. We've got our own disciples now.
Right.
They can all leave.
Right.
I was there in Mayapur living with Tamal at one point after Lord Chaitanya's festival. He was discussing with Bhagavan and Rameswara this new Guru Prasad was going to purge all the God brothers out of Iskcon. And Rameswara said, yeah, all the envious ones. So all of a sudden they declare all the God brothers envious and subject to a purge because they wanted the control. If they have their own disciples doing what they want without questioning, for them it was a lot easier than having Prabhupada's disciples who would constantly ask them all kinds of questions.
Right. It's crazy.
And that's why when Bhavananda was asked, after the Prajumna letter in August of 1977 was sent to Sasaru, Bhavananda said, with regards to Prajumna and myself, says they have nothing to discuss. There is nothing to discuss. We have already decided everything. We have already discussed everything. They should just accept. So this was the mentality of these people. The same we that restricted Prabhupada's disciple and concealed the information in September of 1977 when Prabhupada told Tamal that he wanted all of his disciples to come to Vrindavan.
Right.
Is that the same we? The same we that discussed everything? The same we that concealed the information with regards to Prabhupada's disciples coming to Vrindavan?
Right.
I know, in other words, basically, they were hitching to take over. In 1977, they wanted to take over the society. And when Bhavananda heard, he was in Mayapur, when he heard they had been chosen as one of the 11. Now, this was told to me by a devotee that actually saw this himself.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he jumped up on a picnic table they had in Mayapur. He put his hand in the air and said, "Power, power, power." Complete madness.
Wow. Interesting, yeah.
That's why Prabhupada told Hamsaduta, when Hamsaduta was made at BB Dishasti, he asked Prabhupada, why you've chosen me? I mean, you have so many other educated disciples that are much more competent to do this. And Prabhupada said, because you have understood the importance of preaching and distributing my books. And Prabhupada told him, he says, the devotees may fail, the temples may fail, but my books will never fail. Here's the problem we're facing. And I'm telling you this because you're a pretty smart, intelligent person. You're very articulate. In our lifetime, what we have to do is use every resource that we can till we die to try to reinstate these original books. Because if we don't do that, and these people keep changing the books left and right, in 50, 60, 70 years, 100 years, there's going to be nothing left.
Right, right.
Because if the books are if the original books are no longer available, ultimately, if some people are going to have to go rogue or print this in a separate way, because right now, I don't know exactly if these books are being reprinted or maybe the original books. When I say original books, I'm not referring to pre-1978, because pre-1978 is another form of hodgepodge. Original books means the first printed editions that Prabhupada had. That's why in 1977, in that rascal editor conversation, on the 22nd of June, 1977, the Prabhupada says the next printing should be again the original way. And another place says they cannot change anything. Of course, all these people like Jayadvaita, Jirarati, they got so many interpretations with that. And, people claim, I went and saw Prabhupada and Prabhupada approved it. Okay, well, show us the actual conversation so we can see that. It's not available. Again, that's not one of these mysterious conversations. No, it's not available.
So